What is the most rich thing you've seen wealthy people say to casually? Was at a bar with the multi-billionaire CEO of the company I worked for. He made fun of Opera for only having one jet, then went on to tell me to never buy helicopters because they are built by the lowest bidder. Planes are the better choice. Bob, my car didn't even have air conditioning. I worked in a sporting goods store in my early 20s and got absolutely screamed at by an old man for not knowing who he was when I asked him for ID. Apparently he owned like half the town and others at the store would kiss his ass. At $9 an hour I wasn't paid enough to kiss his ass even if I cared who he was. I wasn't from there and had only seen him come in a few times to buy random shit. But either way, the federal fucking government requires you produce ID to purchase a firearm, and I was doing my job. It's been over 20 years and my husband, who has heard the story, will randomly look at me and bust out, "You seriously don't know who I am?" I used to work at a jeweler and the stories are endless. Clients would talk about how they just got back from a months-long trip on a yacht or some exotic island. I'm just like, cool, I put in 60 hours this week and have worked every day of the week, lol. The shit that I wouldn't get at all is the watch guys. I had a client come in one time and ask for the cheapest watch we had, so he didn't have to worry about it on his trip. He ended up going with a 800 watch, not the cheapest, and while I was checking him out, he said he was going to throw it away after the trip. I tried talking him out of it and just said return it afterwards, but then he seemed insulted. Other watch guys would pay $1K every year just to get a little scratch on their Rolex that only they notice buffed out. ID explained to them that they are shaving precious metal off every time and ruining the integrity of the watch, but they degaff because their egos are so massive. We'd hold private events and encourage clients to bring their friends and it always turned into a dick-swinging contest of who can spend more. Absolutely wild environment, and I was absolutely burnt out after 2 years. Most money I ever made, but most miserable I've ever been. Not taking free expensive stuff given to them because they probably already have a lot and/or they think it's something only poor people do. It's ironic because all these brands try to give those they perceive as rich more free stuff that they don't want or need. Have a literal bell to call them maids, also an intercom. Going to their apt in the city so they have a place to hang out in between shopping at stores. Their apt is only for that purpose. My friends bought a house in Palm Springs, but the renovation was taking too long, so they just bought a second house in Beverly Hills to live in during the renovations. They kept both. My millionaire aunt scoffing at the idea that my single mother taking care of me and my younger brother couldn't find a place to live, because $3,000 a month is easily affordable. Edit, $3,000 a month being the average rent in the area. My wife was invited to a spa week with a friend that costs $17K. Do we have the cash on hand? Yes. Will we ever waste that kind of money on a spa week? No. The friend was so nonchalant about it too. She'd just come back and was going again the next month. Get stressed from a true crime podcast and book a tropical getaway to decompress. My dad knows a billionaire who had a French Chateau disassembled and reassembled in the US. He acted like it was just as normal as building a house. My dad's been there a few times and said it's an insane property with a huge man-made lake and huge sprawling lawns. Think that a banana costs 10. You should get one. Like I can afford it. A guy I served at a bar paid me to let him keep drinking at the bar after close while he waited for his ride. I work in tech, so I'm around a lot of insanely rich people. You hear things like just moving money around and parking money in real estate and how to time your RSU sales all the time. My buddy's sister is obscenely wealthy, bought a sprawling house on the CA coast, tore it down, and had a new one built. She had a huge multi-panel sliding glass electronic door installed, but upon moving in, decided it wasn't up to her specifications. She had the entire set of panels demolished and rebuilt. She complained that she couldn't move in as quickly as she had hoped. She also has no problem throwing down thousands of dollars on dinner, but bitches when her employees ask for better wages or need time off. Spend more than their monthly income in one go without checking if they have the money in their account. Complain about the inconvenience of having their fancy houses remodeled. I'm not sure if this is a real thing, but I've always been amazed seeing characters on TV getting on a plane and flying across the country on an hour's notice. I feel like this would take me a week to prepare for. Tell people that God needs their money for a new jet. And it's the reason that Jesus has not come back yet, because people have not given enough free money yet. How do people not see through the bullshit of the conman?